Okay. If I don't post this to YouTube, I'm technically talking to myself, and what's the problem with that? There is no problem with talking to yourself. It only becomes a problem if you're not being honest when you do it. So, let's get there. I'm close to tears at the moment. I'm in a lot of pain emotionally. My thumb hurts from being bitten down too much. I'm exhausted. I've got a painful back, and my mind is riddled with guilt of trying to put right my life every time not every time, but when I make moves to try and improve it, there's some kind of unforeseen reaction that you get from others that I don't know. I can understand why people don't feel respected and that feedback loop and everything, because I've certainly got that. I like being alive. I don't know why I like being alive. I do. It's definitely down there though. I got upset by remembering something today. I found out years ago. I found this photograph, and it was a photograph of a baby, a dad and a mum, and an older lad and a dog, and a very warm house. And I was like to my mum, who's this? And she goes, oh yeah, that was your adoptive family. And I didn't this is the first time I ever knew that I got given up for adoption when I was a newborn. And then they took me back in a month later, and I ended up living in a house of trauma instead. Now, obviously, the difference between a warm house where you're to be taken care of consciously would be a different upbringing to a house where the trauma of teenage pregnancy and the suicide of the only source of income in the house would have been a different result. I wouldn't be doing this monologue in Sweden, I doubt. You don't know. I mean, there's a whole bunch of what ifs, aren't there? It just sort of resonated with me very deeply, the fact that this it was a quintessential warm home. It was like I had one for a month as a newborn, and I can imagine being taken out of that was probably the kickstart of everything else. I have these emotional mysteries that I'm always contending with. I saw this film Lion recently about this Indian kid who gets so lost that he literally can't find his way home, and he ends up getting adopted off the streets and taken to Australia, and it sort of suddenly dawns on him when he finds an Indian snack how lost he is. He says, and I certainly have that, but then again, everybody has that, don't they? And that's all part of this culture that says that. So here I am, we're all where we are, and what else are we to do but accept what is obligated and change what is dragging us to hell, really. And sometimes it feels that the obligations are what's dragging us to hell, and it is actually true. Sometimes you're obliged to be dragged to hell. There's a natural history video that gave me a really sincere lesson in this, which was when there was this flying fish that was swimming away from a big fish, and the flying fish managed to get up out the water and fly, and the program put this heroic music on, but then it got tired and went back into the sea and was swimming, and the big fish still after it. Next time the flying fish flies, there's seagulls coming in ready to kill it, and it's screwed. Its life is over. Life goes now's time. And you cannot argue with that. There is no arguing with that. The hope that we have is that we can do something to make our life better. And when you lose all hope, you lose the foundations that have you securely believing that change for the positive is possible. And there's a lot of people in the world who do feel like that. They don't believe it's possible. So it's incumbent, or it's an obligation, on the people who can make the world a better place to actually do that. And a lot of this new generation, they believe they're the people to do it. And they're right. They're not right about what needs doing a lot of the time, but they're right that they're the people to do it. But they need to be given they need to be given the clues that they are entitled to be wrong on occasion, and we need to be demonstrating how being wrong can actually be quite hilarious when you're liberated from the obligations that being wrong initially brought. And you're like, oh, you mean if I'm free, then all that miserable crap that was keeping me down isn't true anymore either, by consequence, like, no, yeah, it's not true. You are slightly liberated by a further degree or two to enable and enact notions and attitudes that unarguably make you feel better in as confident and strong a way as the stuff that is unarguably depressing and fatal. Paradigm shifts are occurring all the time. There is no such thing as a paradigm, I guess, by that announcement. There's this line I wrote once, which was the new paradigm won't contain the word paradigm. Oh, feel a bit better for talking.